texting? Who are you texting?
No one.
Let me just... Ken!
Yeah, I walk with this world, and I've flown all over the world.
I think the word you're searching for is Space Ranger.
The word I'm searching for, I can't say because there's preschool toys present. Getting.
Did you know the heart of downtown Los Angeles was shaped by a formerly enslaved black woman? Bridget Biddy Mason was forced to move to California with her enslaver in 1851, but slavery had actually been abolished in California a year earlier, so she and her family were being illegally enslaved, and it lasted for 5 years. When her enslaver tried to move them back to the South, she petitioned the Los Angeles District Court for her own freedom and the freedom of the 13 women and children in her family, and she won. Once free, she started working as a nurse and midwife, saving up until she could invest in real estate. She bought 10 acres of land for $250, where she built rental homes, a church, and commercial buildings. That land she invested in is now the heart of downtown LA.
What's wrong? What is it?
How I love being a woman.
True that I saw her hair like the branch of a tree, willow dancing on air.
I had it really difficult. She was a big part of my life.
Yeah.
When she died, a big part of me died with her. Food lives on, so.
Is it your grandma's?
Yeah, it is. She gave it to my mum when my mum moved out. My grandma was the queen of margarine. Stork was in everything.
Whereabouts in Jamaica is your grandma from?
Montego Bay.
So when did your grandma move to the UK?
She moved in the 50s. I don't know if we should put this. It might be fucking spicy. Maybe spice?
Another bowl of heat.
Stuff is really good. Sometimes even in Peckham it's behind the counter because I just know people might take it.
What do you call your grandma? Your nan?
Nanny.
Nanny.
Yeah.
Show you how to make it?
You just get annoyed with us being around sometimes. Like, get out.
Shut up.
Yeah. Smells quite different.
What do you think of your nanny? Like, what comes to mind?
It's like a standard weekend for us. Going down the road, buying the meat from the meat shop. My mum would always be cooking like the day before. Yeah, they'd just be playing music until like 3 in the morning. She would DJ sometimes. It was bonkers.
Oh my god, that's so satisfying. Smelling it all day.
It's alright, it tastes like my grandma's. I'm shocked.
In my eyes, everyone who is posting about Palestine, everyone who is out there marching on the behalf of Palestine, everyone who is making content about Palestine, everyone who is educating other people about Palestine, we are the Palestinian resistance in the Western world. We are the Palestinian resistance, and we are the Western world's worst nightmare. We are Israel's worst nightmare. They fear us more than they fear Hamas. They fear our education. They fear that our eyes are open. They fear that we might actually change the system. We don't need to be voting. We need to change the system. And they fear that we might actually be successful. They fear that we're talking about Sudan. They fear that we're talking about Congo. They fear that we are connecting the dots. We are the resistance.
What the fuck is boycott fatigue? Y'all can't give up Starbucks? You can't give up Starbucks. You can't find a different coffee shop. It has to be Starbucks. Sorry, I needed to take a moment of silence for the loss of words, really. Like, really? That's That's what takes you down. That. And Americans are strong. You can't give up Starbucks. You can't find a different coffee shop. Like, you can't brew your own coffee. Like, get an auto brewer. Seriously?
First of all, it's dwarf. Short for dwarfism. Imagine trying to be hateful and failing at it. Loser!
Those new Starbucks cups are actually free. If you save your fucking money and you donate it to Palestine, you weak ass bitch.
People don't throw shoes at politicians like they used to. I'm not saying anything, I'm just saying a nice little pair of shoes thrown at a war criminal would be really cool right now.
If your greatest fear is being called a racist, imagine what it's like to be afraid of the racism itself. Okay, that's it. Bye.
Women are not meant to be working these 40-hour-a-week corporate desk jobs.
Should anybody? I think it sucks for all of us.
I saw it again today. A really pretty girl walking down the street with her corporate t-shirt, jeans, a backpack, her thermos, looking depressed as all hell walking into her job.
What you should have said is women that you find physically attractive shouldn't be working corporate desk jobs. Also, how do we know that this is the reason why she looked depressed as hell? Maybe it's because she caught you looking at her.
The saddest thing ever. This girl should not be going to some stupid desk job to sit in a cubicle and report to some asshole boss all day.
Yeah, she should be reporting to her husband, right?
Should be in a sundress, going to a farmer's market, tanning by the pool, doing yoga, doing Pilates.
You know, it's possible to be able to do all of those things whilst also working a 9-to-5 job. And all of those things cost money, hence the job. Hence, maybe women want to be able to provide financially for themselves and not be financially dependent on a man.
Throughout the thousands of years of human history, when did women start going to 9-to-5 jobs? Like 40 years ago? 50 maybe?
Allegedly, the 9-to-5 work week went mainstream 100 years ago. It's not as if men have been doing it for much longer.
Or women would stay home, raise the family, take care of the house, cook, clean.
Because they didn't have access to any other choice.
Now, women go to some stupid 9-to-5 desk job to do some bullshit compliance job and get verbally harassed by their manager.
But it's all well and good for men to work these useless corporate desk jobs 9-to-5 and get verbally harassed by their managers because they have a wife at home that they can harass.
And then go to happy hour and get hit on by their coworker Caleb.
Who's Caleb? Is that her work husband? Did she run off with him?
It's just not how it should be.
But it is. Get used to it. Accept it. Unless you're willing to financially provide this lifestyle for the woman you're with and she chooses to want to be a stay-at-home wife and mother, let women be.
see us apart.
May it remind me and every little child that no matter where you're from, your dreams are valid.
For all the little boys and girls who look like me watching tonight, this is a beacon of hope and possibilities. This is proof that dreams dream big and dreams do come true.
I am from Britain, and I think it is right that I am paid the same as my male counterparts. I think it is right that I should be able to make decisions about my own body.
But if it's your problem, then it's not mine. It's a woman's problem. It's a black people problem. It's a poor people problem.
This is about targeting women of color in the United States of America. Don't tell me, because I didn't get a single apology.
Time has expired.
My life was threatened. Thank you.
Women need a seat at the table. They need an invitation to be seated there. And in some cases, where this isn't available, well then you know what? then they need to create their own table.
The miseducation of Lauryn Hill. Lauryn Hill.
You can be naturally beautiful with acne or scars, cellulite or curves. So let's celebrate each other.
So I think right now we have the chance to be heard, and that's why we're doing it.
I will not be lectured about sexism and misogyny by this man.
We're saying you get the ability to get the job, to be the CEO, and nobody questions when you're driven at 50 and have 3 children, how you're managing it all. Don't question me. That's what I'm saying. I can be a CEO and a mother.
The only thing that separates women of color from anyone else is opportunity.
I had 2 options. One was to remain silent and wait to be killed. And the second was to speak up and then be killed. I chose the second one.
Sentence for every nameless, faceless woman of color that now has a chance because his door tonight has been opened.
If, Mr. Vice President, I'm speaking.
I'm
speaking.
A man does something, it's strategic. A woman does the same thing, it's calculated. A man is allowed to react, a woman can only overreact.
For too long, women have not been heard or believed if they dared to speak their truth to the power of those men.
We have evolved,
but
it seems to me that our ideas of gender have not evolved.
I get angry when I think about it. No woman should sit down and allow a man to speak about her reproductive rights.
My body, my choice!
If I may be so honored to have all the female nominees in every category stand with me in this room tonight. The actors, Meryl, if you do it, everybody else will, come on. The filmmakers, the producers, the directors, the writers, the cinematographer, the composers, the songwriters, the designers. Come on. Ms. Boyman.
I let you live here for free, and I don't even charge you rent. I clean up all your messes, and I'm always there when you need to.
I'm about to say something really political. Disney is truly in its flop era. It's giving AI generated. It's giving writer's strike. I don't know who decided that every song has to sound like a Lin-Manuel Miranda ripoff, but we need to end it. I let you live here for free, and I don't even charge you rent. You said the same thing twice, babes. You're telling me that the same company that created this also made this and wrote the line, "It's not my fault if in God's plan he made the devil so much stronger than a man." It's like Disney thinks that the audience can't appreciate nuance anymore. Their songs used to do like 3 or 4 things at the same time. This song has as many layers as an ogre, okay? Not only is it beautiful and moves the plot forward and reveals character, it's doing so many other things with Frollo. Sure, it's clarifying for us, the audience, Frollo is in fact the villain and his intentions are evil, but it's also so interesting because he's trying to rationalize that with himself. Most evil people can't conceptualize themselves as evil, which is what makes this song so compelling, is that Frollo is trying to cope with that paradox. Even something like Poor Unfortunate Souls seems quite simple, but when you look at it, it's actually doing so many different things. It's not just an absolute banger, they're revealing a hefty amount of story through this song. It has to set up and explain how Ariel is going to get what she wants. It also has to reveal Ursula's evil intentions without revealing it to Ariel, even though she's literally performing for Ariel. And they do this in a really interesting way. It's not just Ursula outright stating her evil intentions, she's essentially doing a sarcastic sales pitch. We don't want to trust her, but we're still charmed by her. Mother Knows Best, probably the most terrifying Disney villain song ever. Think about it, it's a manipulative mother figure who is gaslighting her prisoner into being afraid of the outside world. And again, what makes it so interesting is the contrast. Gothel is pretending to be all sweet and nurturing while making Rapunzel believe that the outside world is what intends her harm, when actually Gothel is the one that is harming Rapunzel. That's what makes it so insidious. It shows just how selfish and egotistical Mother Gothel is without having to just write it into the lyrics. We're probably judging this movie way too soon, it's not even out yet, but beyond the fact that the song just sounds like ass, you can already tell that it's not particularly interesting. It's like, okay, we get it. He's a narcissistic good guy who does all of these selfless deeds, but they're really just in service of his own ego. Great. I'll save my proper judgment until the movie actually comes out, but let's just say I feel like there's a reason they called this Wish, okay?
Hey, female villain written by a woman.
Hey, female villain written by a man. What are you doing here? Oh, just making sure I have all my supplies ready. Tonight is the night I set my evil plan in motion. Amazing, me too. I'm just putting some finishing touches on my evil speech, you know? Yes, it's such a pivotal moment. Is this your first time? It is, actually. But I think I have everything I need. I go over the evil plan, I goad them for falling for it, and then of course I have my tragic backstory. That's the most important one. It speaks to your motivation for all of this. It is. I feel like this is my one and only chance to show them that that same system that they keep trying to protect, it's hurting a lot of people and it needs to change. That's so admirable. Mine focuses on a past lover and my lack of real womanhood. Sorry, what? My motivation for being a villain is usually because of a man. Perhaps some daddy issues. Or maybe it's because I put my career first, didn't focus on starting a family, and now I'm too old and no man actually wants me. Or, and this is my personal favorite, it's because I can't have children. What does that have to do with literally anything? Don't you see? If I can't have a man, then I can't experience motherhood. If I can't experience motherhood, then I'll never know true love or have real purpose. And if I can't have any of that, well, then I become bitter, and thus evil. Oh. No, I'm sorry, what?
Fuck you, your mother, your kids. And your dog, bitch.
Funny. Yes, but not funny, haha. Funny weird.